Well, openness at the Open University has had to be interpreted in many different ways, and of course there have been many different changes over the past 10 years. The whole rise of the internet and the use of digital technologies, the rise of open licensing, talking about open data, open innovation, all these different types of developments have made us have to think about what it is we do and how we do it, particularly since our students are not based on campus. They could be anywhere in the world. We'll now be able to provide a lot more of that content online, and we'll be able to have much more both asynchronous and synchronous communication with our students, and they can with each other. Open educational resources have started challenging the way we do things because we rely very much on the educational content as a primary teaching method. Now, some of that has been openly available and accessible, like our broadcasting activities with the BBC, for 40 years. But of course, the possibilities of both copying it, recording it and distributing it in great numbers was not there before. So making content openly available under an open license, where you're encouraging people to take away that content and use that content, obviously affects the way we think about how central is that content to our teaching, or whether we need to be much more relaxed about the content and think about the other forms of interaction and the way we support students. Well, the Open University has had a number of GIST-funded projects over the years looking at the use of different technologies and also around how to create the curriculum, learning design. And all these have had an influence on what we do, both in our straight teaching but also with open educational resources. The Steeple project in particular was important in developing a lot of the technologies which, not so much for OpenLearn but for our work on iTunes U, made it possible to get a lot of audiovisual content out there very quickly. And then there have been other projects like Atelier D and Loro, which have been looking much more about how we provide content and how that can be done through different technologies. All of those looked at different aspects of what it is to be open and open educational resources. And that was important for us in doing what we were doing on OpenLearn. But equally, what we've been doing on OpenLearn has been very important in terms of shaping some of what JISC has done with open educational resources. So we've had this two-way dialogue where we've been working together in terms of furthering open educational resources in the United Kingdom. The decision to get involved with open educational resources was not an immediate one, but it's part of the discussions we're always having about how to interpret openness and to see what is happening in the world. There was an open source teaching project which very much was a forerunner of what we did for OpenLearn. There was work with the BBC and the British Film Institute on something called Creative Archive. But for the university, we really needed to do a big substantive project. And so getting the funding from the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation after review and deciding, yes, we want to do this, meant that we could do things in a big scale. And doing things on a big scale is also helpful for involving everybody across the university, all the departments, all the different units, and then start seeing what are the benefits and value from doing it. But of course we had to demonstrate that value. So a big part of OpenLearn was the research and evaluation, and a good 15% of the budget was spent on that, having dedicated researchers investigating how we were doing what we were doing, as well as what users were doing with what we were able to publish through OpenLearn. So through that we were able to gather the evidence and see where the value proposition was. Where does it make a difference? Where does it help the university do what it's currently doing? How does it help the university do something different to what it's done before? The benefits of OER are very varied because it depends upon what you want to measure and what value you're trying to achieve with the activities you're doing. An example of this might be that our own information advice and guidance staff use OpenLearn as one part of their arsenal of being able to provide information, advice and guidance to prospective students, and even for current students. They didn't have it there before, and without even prompting or training them, they were using OpenLearn for that purpose. So they gained value without us going to them and asking them to use it. I think the opportunities of embedding openness within a higher education institution have to be built upon the mission of that institution. For the Open University, of course, we've got that mission, being open as to people, places, methods and ideas. So it's very easy to take that idea on board and to try and run with it. Because openness provides transparency, whether it's open access publishing or research, whether it's publishing open education resources, and whether it's openly innovating and working with and collaborating with other institutions. The whole aspect of this is spreading the academic endeavour, sharing ideas, sharing practices, trying to further knowledge and understanding, and trying to further our understanding of the world around us.